Welcome back to the podcast. That's right. Episode 777. Oh, man. If this was a casino, we'd be rich. We'd be rolling in it. I am your host, Mitsuki. I am back. I know it's 2 weeks in a row. Incredible. What are you still doing here, bald man? Well, I'm here to make love with my voice to you, all of you listening. And we also have another bald man, although he looks like maybe he's not totally clean-shaven. It's Otaku Cop.
What's up? I have to keep the bald men representing for the beards, the salt and pepper effect.
Yeah.
The handsome just gets better with every passing day.
Oh, wow.
Every gray in the beard. But I'm so happy to be here with my homies to talk some anime.
We also have Mason, who is not bald, but he's looking very fine. How are you, Mason?
We're completing the Venn diagram of hair, beard, like in every combination in between, you know? So
that's right.
We're just trying to cater to all our audience's fetishes.
So I do a weird thing with my facial hair where Pancake likes me to shave my head and let my facial hair grow out a little bit, like maybe 4 or 5 days. And then I'll do that until it just gets itchy, and then I can't handle it anymore. Then I shave my face. But then I have to do my head too, because nothing looks worse than having your face shaved, but have like because I have no hair on my head. It's gone. So, you got the horseshoe, but then you're clean shaven. It does not work. Anyway, and I want Mason to know today that I already drank my Monster for the day, but I will drink another one if I complete this half gallon of water that I'm holding right here.
Oh my goodness!
So I'm gonna drink this
I'm
gonna do it just for you, and then I'm gonna open a Monster from my Sonic the Hedgehog refrigerator that I have behind me. How you like that?
I like it a lot.
Fantastic.
Now, do you have a separate razor between head and beard, or is it just one?
Nope. No, and I stopped using.
All the way around.
I also
never take it off your head.
Well, your head shaves really easily, but your face, well, not as easy. But
it's made of tougher stuff.
And I don't use shaving cream anymore. That's a racket. It's fake. You can shave with anything. You could shave with shampoo just as easily. Hell, I could go get Astroglide and cover my face in it, and it would work. So
the government doesn't want you to know this, but you can shave with Monster.
It might be worth trying. They should make Monster flavored shampoo. That would be interesting.
Shampoo,
right.
Okay.
Well, those of you listening, if you want to help us out, you can leave us a review on wherever you tune in. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, wherever it is, leave a review. If you're on YouTube, what do the kids say? Click subscribe and click that notification bell so that you never miss when we have new content.
Oh, that was pretty good.
There you go.
That's right. Click subscribe and like.
That's right. And like. Listen, if you don't like me, well, that's sad.
I don't like this.
Oh, well, I do because I try. I try really hard for them. Also, if you want to support the podcast, AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon is going to be a big place for you to help out the podcast. Costs of everything are going up, and I know that not everybody can help out and support the show, but we require more food to feed us because the costs of everything have gone up. So Patreon or AAAPodcast.com/join will help us out a lot. And of course, we can watch us live on YouTube or Twitch every week at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe voting is still open for the Family Feud game. I understand that doing the Family Feud game does require a little more time than voting for listener choice or something, but it is going to help us get a really fun episode organized for you. I'm told we almost have enough submissions. If you go to our website right now, I put a little strip across the middle that is literally, you can't miss it. You just click there, it takes you to a Google form, and you answer the Family Feud questions just like you would for the TV show. So we'll do that. And it's going to be, I think, Discord versus hosts again. I think that worked out well last time. It's fun. Maybe we'll get a new round of people from the Discord participating. And I don't know which of the hosts will do it yet, but it's going to be wild. It'll be me. I think I'll definitely be there. I won't have any pants on. Steve Harvey, he'll be like, you just stay behind there. You can do the speed run from behind.
You stay right there behind the podium, sir.
Yes, exactly. TV cannot handle the girth of your member.
Looks into camera, makes funny face,
that's right.
Audience applauds. Classic.
So today on the podcast, we were going to do an anime retrofit We might be the 3 oldest members of this podcast. I'm not sure.
No.
Mason's borderline.
Andrew has me beat.
Oh, Andrew's older than you. Okay. But not by
For
much.
sure.
Not by much. I don't know. How old are you, Mason? What are you, 32?
Something like that. It's close.
All right. Well, so we're going to be talking about anime that have come out recently that would be a great fit if you just plucked them out and dropped them in like the 80s or 90s. That's generally the concept there. We also have impressions to do from the spring 2025. Apocalypse Hotel, another hotel anime. 2 seasons in a row. Crazy. Your Forma, which is a really bizarre title. I still don't understand why it's called that. Catch Me at the Ballpark, which I think is a really cute title. I was really hoping for Gudazeni vibes because I still think Gudazeni is incredible. I'm watching it right now again, and it's still awesome. We'll see if it lives up to the legacy of that. Mono in all lowercase letters, which is it's the anti-isekai title. God, there was an isekai. There's an isekai coming out that is like has like a 45-word title. It is utterly ridiculous, and also food for the soul. Food for the soul as well. So, all right, I'm not even going to ask. You guys are always ready for it. It's time for big news of the week.
It's time for big news of the week.
Very exciting because Aoashi is finally getting a second season in 2026. You're going to have to wait a while. I believe that Aoashi is now complete, the manga. It's as of April 30th this year, 39 volumes have been published, and the series is set to end with the 40th volume. So it'll be finished very soon. And 40 volumes is kind of a lot. That's probably enough to get you...
bad.
How many episodes is that, guys? 3 seasons? 4 seasons?
3 or 4. Like
Quite a
is 7 to 10 volumes a season.
So...
7 to 10. Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you're lucky, you will get maybe 50 more episodes of Aoashi, which I really enjoyed Aoashi. I thought it was quite good. I am a little concerned. They seem to be having a studio change. So... In 2022, which is, God, that went quick. Season 1 was produced by Production IG in 2022. And apparently this new season is going to be TMS Entertainment. So that does seem like a slight downgrade. TMS Entertainment, not the worst, but Production IG is definitely consistently probably a little better of a studio. But I don't care. I'm excited about Aoashi. More of it coming. Have you guys watched Aoashi? Did you enjoy it, and are you excited?
Yeah, so I watched it for the review on this podcast. I definitely wasn't as big of a fan of it as you, Mitz, though I did like some of what it was doing with being more grounded and realistic. So I definitely would be game to watch more of it, but I don't have high hopes. I'm just hoping that my big brain prediction of what is to come ends up happening. But we'll see.
I don't remember what that was. Can you explain? Quickly?
I don't spoil or anything. I think that one of the characters is going to be a bad guy, a villain, an antagonistic figure, if you will.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
We'll see if that comes to pass. But you tell me more, Aoashi? Good. I think it needs the second season. I think people have been waiting for it, and it's about time.
Otaku Comp?
I have not seen it yet.
Oh.
I unfortunately, when it was airing, I was knee deep in beginning my journey of the One Piece. So, Raggedy Doctor told me I made the right decision.
Well, One Piece is fine, but you're never gonna finish that. So that's my problem with One Piece.
You.
1,000. Well, call me in 6 years. You'll get there.
I'm on episode 650.
Oh
something.
My God.
Yeah.
See, there's always a philosophical question you have to ask yourself with One Piece. It's like I could watch One Piece, or I could watch 50 other shows. So that's the question. You're looking down. I made you feel bad.
No.
You're like, what have I done? All right, that's my big news for the week. Mason?
My big news is that Pokemon is old hat, boring, lame. Magic the Gathering Nerd, no one plays that anymore. Let me introduce to you the new hottest trading card game out on the market. And that can be found in the Fukuoka prefecture of Japan, in the small town of Kawara. The kids today, you know what they're playing? They're playing Oji-san trading card game.
Shut
This
up.
is a real-life, community-driven, handmade game where, styled after Pokemon, each card in this pack, of which there are currently 47, is a representation of a local middle-aged man in the community, and they all have different powers and assigned elemental
Amazing.
types and rarities. It was created by the Secretary General of the Community Council, who wanted to strengthen the connection between the children and the older generations of the community. So they started to put together these little trading card packages. You can buy 3 cards for 100 yen, or a pack of 6, including a shiny card, for 500 yen. And the kids, they're trading them, they're battling with them, they're going to these community meetings to then personally meet and get autographs of the very men that are
That is
depicted
so
on
cute.
their trading cards. And it's awesome. And the best part is, say you're an Oji-san, say you're a middle-aged man, and your stats are kind of just whatever. You can go out there and do more for your community, and they will like up your stats in the trading card game based on
Oh,
like
no
your community
way!
service and stuff. So you can be upgraded to be a shiny boy,
Oh,
and that's awesome.
what a
so-
fun idea.
Okay,
Yeah,
I need to
it's-
find
it's
out how
good.
to upgrade my stats.
Yeah,
'Cause
how
I'm
do we get-
definitely OG-san.
Otaku Oji-san cards made. How do we
That's
get
right.
you, international podcast superstar, into the hands of these Japanese children? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but we need to make it happen. I need to change my tag to OG-san Cop.
Yeah,
That is so.
Anyway,
That is such a good thing. Like in theory, the people on the cards or people in the community would do more for the community to try to either increase their stats or get added to a card.
yeah,
And then the kids participate more in community life, get better at socializing, get to know people. Wow. Japan finds creative ways to do good, I think, in the world. And that's,
for sure.
you know what? Fuck it.
Just if you're listening right now,
Aw.
Google up, middle-aged men trading card Japan, and you'll see just how delightful these cards are. They will bring a smile to your face.
They look good, too. That's the thing. The one guy's got
Yeah.
like flames behind him. Is he a fireman?
It's like just high budget enough to be like, oh dang, and just low budget enough to be like, that's amazing. Like I love the train or the bus driver guy who has like the biggest and Shirley ass 5 head I've ever seen. It's amazing. He's a bald dude whose cranium is bursting.
Oh
It's
my
awesome.
gosh, there's so many of these.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think I could probably figure out how to get this up on Twitch. I was not prepared for that.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
it's fantastic.
elicit such a visually insightful and
Well, I didn't-
feast-worthy.
Yeah, it is feast worthy. I didn't realize they were going to have like the entire spread of all the cards on here. So they got guys in hats. A lot of them are bald. There's a few of them are. Look at I found my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
It's
Who's your OG son of choice?
Oh,
Who would
it's
you
the-
battle me with?
It's the dude with the massive chrome dome on the
Yeah,
bottom row.
yeah.
He is fucking
Yeah.
killing it. Look at his head.
Got like a power stance going.
Oh
He's
my
like, yeah,
God,
this is my bus.
His head is massive. He looks like he's got like something about to burst out of it. Oh my goodness! All right, I'll see if I can get this pulled up on Twitch.
Sorry,
while talking
audio
about-
listeners, aka 98% of
Yes, at
people
least.
consuming this
At
content.
least, yeah.
But you're missing out if you're not looking at this.
Otaku Cop.
hilarious.
What do you got?
All right. So this might not be a big deal to some people, but I love paying attention to who certain voice actors and actresses are because I love their work. One of my favorite voice actresses is Rie Takahashi, and she recently went on a hiatus because on April 3rd, she had to take a 1-month break to undergo surgery for her vocal cord nodules. So for all those people who think that
Jeez.
being a voice actor or voice actress is an easy job, it's not at all. It's a terrible strain on their vocal cords at times, especially when they're doing voices and characters that require great range. For those who aren't familiar with Rie Takahashi, she has been played Megumin in Konosuba. She's Amelia in Re:Zero. She's Mash Kirilight in Fate Grand Order, and she's also Sumi in Rent a Girlfriend. And that's just to name a few. She's also done video game work. She's Hu Tao in Genshin Impact, if you've ever played that. But for those of us that are fans of hers, she is healed. She has started to ease back into work, and if you follow her on any social media, give her a thumbs up, tell her we're happy to have her back. But it's just wild to me, like, people think like voice acting isn't a hard job, but sometimes when they get into those emotional performances, it's really a huge strain on the vocal cords. And this just shows, like, she's, barely in her 30s and she's already needed vocal cord surgery. So all the credit in the world to voice actors. Not an easy job, and we as the anime fans appreciate you. We salute you, Rie Takahashi. Welcome back.
Would you say that Rie Takahashi is one of your waifus?
Yeah, definitely. As far as the voice actresses go, definitely.
What does this Rie Takahashi look like? Is she cute? Let me see.
Would you say that Rie Takahashi has
Pull her up. She's kawaii.
Oh, she looks 14.
She does not look 14.
How old is she?
Let me see.
Okay, she looks 18. How about that?
She looks older than that. I think
now what?
It depends on the picture you look at her.
Well, I'm looking at the one on Anime News Network, and she looks pretty... I mean, this could be an old photo.
I mean, the one on her Google profile, she doesn't look like a 18-year-old. She looks like she's in her 20s.
You sound so offended.
Oh, if you go to her LinkedIn, you'll actually
She's 31 years old.
31?
She's 31.
Well, but you know what they say about Japanese people, or Asian people in general, right?
Age like fine wine? I don't know. What do they usually say?
They look like 20 until they look like they're 70. And they just fall.
It's just an instant transformation.
Yeah. You wake up one day and you're like, there's a meme where like there's a 20-year-old Asian woman and she looks 20. Then they show that she goes, this is her at 30, and it's the same picture. And they go, this is her at 40, and it's the same picture. And then like they take like, and then they go, this is her at 50, same picture, and then 52, and it's like she's all bent over like with a cane, and it's over. She's lost like 5 inches off her height. Yeah, she's cute.
It's reverse Pokemon. She devolves.
She's very cute. Yeah. All right. Shall we make some people angry?
Yes, let's do that.
All right.
Control to all units, be advised. We have reports of a break-in in progress. Suspects may be still in the premises. Backup requested. Over.
You have the right to remain silent.
Anime under. I can't go back to jail. Arrest.
I can't go back to jail. So I like to start shit. It is a little topical. So, and since, people love controversial shit, they thrive on it. To Be Hero X. Probably people's favorite show of the season. It has the highest rating on the internet, at least. But I would like to contend with, and I'm talking about this is your segment, but I'm just leading you in. I would like to contend that this is actually not anime. So that is my, and I say that based on the sheer point that it is not Japanese. So, and it's just a discussion, a little bit of a debate. I don't even know what like side of this issue you guys would take. We all might take the same side, but I did put some notes in the doc. So, what are your guys' thoughts? I don't think it's anime.
I'm gonna side with you. If I was gonna charge this show with a crime, it would be impersonating an anime, because it's just not an anime. It feels like a DreamWorks, a Pixar, and the story is like if the Truman Show and My Hero Academia had a baby. It's definitely not an anime in my eyes. It does kind of jump back and forth a little bit between 2D and 3D, but it's almost entirely. Some would even argue it almost looks AI generated at some points.
Well, I mean, they do include a 2D style in it, but I don't really have any reason to believe that the 2D isn't also 3D. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they're doing it all in 3D, but you can do whatever you want with that. Like you can make it look 2D, 3D, whatever. So I really doubt they're like I really doubt the studio is having staffers that are doing 2D animation and 3D animation. It's probably all, I don't know this for sure, but it's probably all done in 3D. Mason, what is your take on this subject? You You feel strongly one way or the other?
I mean,
I don't
I
even know
would-
if you like this show or not.
I've only seen one episode. I didn't need to watch more to be on the impressions. I watched one episode. I thought it was fine. It was a decent time. Has potential. I didn't like, or I should say, I was not a huge fan of the earlier first 2 seasons of To Be Hero, from what I saw of that. But I think this one has more going for it. That said, I wouldn't say it's trying to, like Otaku said, the crime is trying to be anime. And I don't think it is. So I would say it's not anime. It's a donghua. Yes, it has a lot of Japanese people working on it, but it's not inherently going for that style. But is that such a bad thing that it's not an anime? Like, I know we're the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. We review anime, but we review things that are anime with wavy lines around it. It's not the equal sign. It's the kind of close to sign. And I think people care about the show and want us to talk about it. But I would say no, it's not an anime.
Who are the Japanese people that are working on it?
Oh, I mean, you have tons of music people like Sawano on it.
Oh, that doesn't count. Well, I mean, maybe it does count, but I guess when I say it needs to be made by Japanese people, like, it needs to be written by a Japanese person, it needs to have Japanese cultural influence, it needs to have a Japanese animation crew, it needs to have Japanese studio. Sawano, the music could be done by, Yoko Kanno used a French band for Cowboy Bebop. I think the seatbelt.
Yeah,
is
I
French,
guess
they don't-
the whole it needs to be Japanese thing feels right, and it doesn't come up 99% of the time, because 99% of the time you see an anime, you say it's an anime, and you look up the dictionary definition and it says anime. So it's fine. There's just a lot of fringe cases, especially in the last 5 years, where you get this more people from different cultural backgrounds working together on something, and it blurs the line, and it's a very semantic debate. Is To Be Hero X anime enough to be anime? Probably not, but who cares?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, but I would agree with you, I guess, is the end of the day.
The people in the chat, the chatters, they don't seem to think it's anime. They have a little stronger opinions. A few of these people have stronger opinions on the show than I would. I wouldn't go so far to say as it's an affront to all animation fans everywhere.
No, I don't.
I don't think I'd go that.
far.
That's pretty rough. That's a little overly burdensome on that show. But anyway, so
I guess.
Uh-huh.
I was just gonna say this whole things need to be done with Japanese animators or writers or directors or production companies or for a Japanese audience. Like, I guess I get all that, but you can't really draw the line somewhere. There's not some, like, you need to be at least 51% Japanese to be considered an anime. I think that gets, I don't know. That feels like the wrong way to go about defining what is an anime. So I guess, how do you guys define it if we want to have this conversation?
Well, so there was a lengthy conversation going on the Discord earlier, and there were maybe 10 people involved in the conversation. And there were some comments that were brought up and everyone has a different opinion. And by the way, I don't think anybody's right or wrong. And if people like To Be Hero X, good. I think that's good. Like, people, I love the Castlevania series on Netflix. I think it's friggin' amazing. But I don't think that's anime. But I made the point. I said, a few people said, saying it has to be made in Japan or by Japanese people, it seems like gatekeeping. And I said, Bugs Bunny is not anime, and chicken is not a seafood. And chicken didn't come out of the ocean, and Bugs Bunny didn't come from Japan. So it might be gatekeeping, but it is what it is.
That's just defining something.
Well, it is what it is.
It's your attempt at defining something.
Chicken did not come out of the ocean. It is not a seafood. It doesn't mean it's not good.
If you roll the clock back far enough, it did come out of the ocean.
Fucking dinosaurs.
Do you remember what people used to call anime back when it first really started to come mainstream in the late 90s? They called it Japanime.
Japanime?
Sometimes. They would call it Japanime. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a matter of separating the source. So anime, I think, is an exclusively Japanese property. And then just like you could argue that, a manhwa is a Korean property, I think it's just about where it comes from. It's Chinese animation. and they're using computers to do most of it. It's just, to me, in my eyes, anime is Japanese animation. It has always been Japanese animation. And in my old man on a porch, raising my fist at the kids walking by, it'll always be Japanese animation.
So you're not saying the source of the material, the source of
the production.
Where it is done.
Yes.
Okay. So if it's a mix of, say half the studio is in France, half the studio's in Japan, like motherfuckers, or the new Yuasa film coming out, it's a co-production.
Is
it half anime?
Did Yuasa direct it?
Yes.
Did he write it?
No.
Who wrote it?
Does that matter?
It does matter. I think that here's my plea. I actually have a plea for this whole thing. I feel somewhat emotional about this. Some people have this opinion that globalism is the only way to do things, and that eventually anime is going to be made everywhere. And that you'll have anime that are made in China, anime that are made in France, anime that are made in Brazil, all this, and it's all going to become this big conglomeration in collaboration between different cultures. And I dislike that. Japan is in a crisis right now where, much like South Korea, they are literally going to cease to exist in like 5 generations. But are they pouring foreigners into their borders to try to boost up their population? No. Instead, they put out 2-tier pricing for tourism because they want the foreigners to get the hell out of their country. 39 million people was way too much last year for them. They would rather literally have their country cease to exist than give up their cultural identity. And I am not satisfied with the concept of, Japan's just going to become, or anime is just going to become this brown-colored melting pot of every color, of every culture, so to speak. Because to me, that's not anime anymore. It needs to be a Japanese creation with Japanese influence, and that's it. And when it starts being made by Brazilian people and animated in France, but written in Germany, but directed by a guy that lives in Madagascar, it's not anime anymore, and I will no longer watch it. So maybe that's like, old manish, but like that's just how I feel. So I do not want the globalism of the world to consume. I don't want anime to become like every city in the world where it's just covered in Burger Kings and Starbuckses. I think that sucks. That's my take.
So I think Hulu actually gets something right when it comes to this topic. Is it separates pretty much anime from all other mature animation. Like if you go and search on your Hulu, they have adult animation and then they have anime, and there's a very clear separation of what that entails. And I don't think anybody will ever really try to argue any American productions are anime, but I get where Mitz is coming from because, like I said, I'm old man on the porch too and set in my ways. And it's just an opinion. It doesn't mean we're right or wrong, but it's just how we feel about it.
No one's going to argue you can't feel this way. But I guess like Solo Leveling, that's not inherently a Japanese story.
No, it's not.
So would you say it's anime? That. Or how about Cyberpunk Edge Runners? This was written by an American guy, directed and generated by like Polish folks, and actually was put together in Japan. Like that's not necessarily a Japanese story. I get wanting to preserve the ethos and culture and everything that Japan is bringing to the table. That's part of what brought us to anime to begin with. And I get that you don't want everything to become anime. You don't want that dilution. I'm with you there. But, if you're against this whole globalization melting pot, then we here in the West can't be defining anime. We have to use the Japanese definition, which is literally all animation is anime. And Bugs Bunny is anime because who are we to say otherwise? So, once again, it's a vibe check. It's a feel. We can all have our own definitions. But I think to say it's a black and white issue is to miss the point.
Well, I think that you brought up a couple good examples, and there is a gray area to be had in the discussion.
Sure.
Solo leveling. Let's talk about it. Or what was the other example?
Or Tower of God.
Edge Runners, some of these
Edge Runners.
There are shows that are in the middle somewhere, and we probably need to come up with if anybody cares enough to do so, then we should come up with a more concrete rubric of what is anime, so to speak. You know, for example, I think Cyberpunk Edge Runners took place in Tokyo. Did it not? Or was some kind of a future Tokyo? Can't remember.
It's like it's future, it's based on, a Polish video game based on an American board game. Like
Yeah, I think you're getting,
it's the future. And that's the thing. Yeah. Like I said, 99% of anime are anime, stamp it, seal it, put it in the dictionary, you're good to go. But we have, like I said, more of these fringe cases with more globalization stuff. But I feel like we haven't yet gotten to this mass dilution of anime. I still feel like, an anime when you see it. Is To Be Hero X an anime? I would say it's not taking blatantly Japanese tropes or Japanese settings or Japanese stories. It's mostly a Chinese production for a Chinese audience based on a Chinese property. I feel like, it's, has a lot of appeal to the anime demographic, but it is a donghua. It's a Chinese animation.
Yeah, it's done by PB Animation, which is based in Chengdu, Xi'an, China, by Land Studio, which is based in Shenzhen, and Paper Plane, which is based in Beijing. Directed by Li Haoling. So that doesn't... We'll move on here, I guess, but that doesn't fit into the Cyberpunk Edge Runners solo leveling camp, where it's kind of like, oh, well, this person wrote it, but then all the production is done by a Japanese company. That is a solidly 100%, as far as I can tell, Chinese work. So that was the... I just think it's interesting, and maybe, I don't know what this means, but in a season where most of the anime seem to be very mid, the best anime, so to speak, of the season isn't perhaps not even anime. I don't know. It's just funny, but
yeah.
And it stirs the pot.
Came out a couple years ago, and that was similarly a huge fan. I mean, you can't even see Scott Pilgrim on my anime list. So there's always going to be that debate, but.
Captain Avatar
worth talking about.
Says if it had to be written by the Japanese, then most of Ghibli wouldn't be anime. But I don't agree with that statement, because those movies are adaptations completely reworked and reconstructed by Miyazaki. So maybe that's not what he means, but yeah.
I think he's talking like Howl's Moving Castle or something like that, or the World Masterpiece Theater adaptations. But yeah,
sure. All right.
Anyway, hot takes. Always fun to have that. I feel like we have that discussion and like, what is sports? Like once a year, it comes up. We got to get it out of our system.
No, that's a banned topic.
No, I know.
I thought that was banned. That was banned.
It's gonna come up again later this year, and we'll get feisty about it, and then we'll leave it off for 2026. Anyway, main topic time.
Yes. Main
so
topic.
this was a topic suggestion from Sujinther, who wrote that anime today, for the most part, look great and moves amazing, but they tend to lack the look and grit of some of the old school anime pre-2000s. What anime of the past 10 years do you think would work just as well or even better in the early period of gritty OVAs, hand animation style, and uncompromising attitude? And how would it change the show? So essentially, as Mitt said earlier, what shows from the present would look good if you dropped them 2 decades ago? I guess I can't say we're in 2025. 3 to 4 decades ago.
Well, I came up with a couple examples, and you all have as well. I don't think there's too much overlap. I'm taking a look, and we're not going to get through all these. I only put 5, so I think the best example that I have on my list is an anime that came up last night in our War Room Discord, and that is Inuyashiki. I think Inuyashiki is cut from an 80s cloth that is undeniable. Inuyashiki was that anime that came out like 10 years ago where the old man, who no one appreciates him, I think, and he gets like abducted by aliens, and they basically fill his whole body.
Robotize him into a weapon, yeah.
Yeah, they like abduct him and take his brain out and put it in a robot, and it looks like him, but he can fly and shoot missiles and all this, and it just has the 80s sort of body horror. Body horror used to be a thing in anime. Like, it used to be grotesque. Like, there used to be some gross stuff. In the late 80s, maybe, mostly, but, Inuyashiki just feels like that to me. And it's unapologetically violent sometimes. Like we have a couple drops on this soundboard from Inuyashiki, where the guy's just gunning down an entire office building. Isn't that his? That's like his office, and he turns into a weapon too, and he just goes back to his office and just guns down everybody he used to work with or whatever. That kind of shit just doesn't show up too much nowadays. But in the 80s of like Angel Cop, like shooting people in the head and watching their eyeballs come out and all this, like that stuff is from a different time, and yeah, they love the Bang Senpai. Senpai. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. You guys agree? Inuyashiki, good candidate?
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I'd say so, especially like you said with the body horror element. Like to see, because that was like CG done where, guns protruding from his back. Like that's weird. But like had that been gloopy with like tendons and fiber and blood and stuff, like that would have been really dark. And I get it. We think of old school OVA stuff, and we think of stuff like Ninja Scroll or Magnetic Rose or Lodof's War. But in reality, some things will kind of just look like Initial D or What's Michael. Like, not all of the throwback shows will be great, but I think we tried to get a good range of shows that just fit the atmosphere, and I feel like Inuyashiki does.
Yeah, Chatter mentioned Ninja Scroll. I'm never going to forget the scene when I saw it the first time where the rock monster's drinking the blood out of the guy's arm. Like, that was... Man, I'd love an anime cell that. What the fuck?
You think about that anime. I mean, it had that just crazy in a 3-minute span. It went from dismemberment of a dude, and then he grabs this female ninja and jams her entire boob into his mouth. Like, it was wild. The 90s were wild for anime. You'd never get away with that now.
The whole boob, you
so
say?
Good though. Oh, the whole boob, bro. You've seen it. You've played.
I've seen it. I just.
Oh, how can you forget it? It's like this is the hentai episode maybe, but sometimes when I stick a boob in my mouth, I think about that scene and I'm like, I am not doing nearly as good of a job as that guy was doing, because he gets that whole. It is not even a small boob. That whole boob goes in.
Make action going on. Got to unhinge the jaw.
Oh my! And by the way, and we'll move on. I'm not going to take this long on my other ones, but I'm very thankful for Inuyashiki. Looking back at it, I didn't appreciate it much, but this season we're in right now is so bland that I would kill for an anime about a dude who turns into a robot weapon. I would kill for it right about now. Amongst the hotels and the cooking clubs, it's just I'd love it. But anyway, sorry, it took too long.
I mean, that whole hotel show did have a robot turning into a weapon, so like it might happen again. Anyway, when I first read this comment suggestion for a topic, literally the first thing that popped into my head, and I think my strongest case, is Dorohedoro. It would fit so well with those dark, gritty, dingy streets, weird like back alley magicians and dumplings as far as the eye can see. Like there's just the vibe would be so perfect. And I get it. Dorohedoro, it already looks good as is. Yeah, it's a little wonky with some of the CG. Yeah, it takes a little while to digest, but in that old school style, it'd look absolutely stunning.
I second that. I had it on my list too. I think you're totally right. It's the 80s or wherever was just weird enough to have a dude with a lizard head.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And unapologetic violence, because Dorohedoro was...
It is violent.
Still, on a scope of violence, even for now, is more violent than most anime that we watch anymore. For sure.
I haven't seen...
Yeah.
When was the last, juicy, violent show we've had? I really can't think of one. I'm struggling here. It's been a while. Don't know.
I can tell you, at least for this season, the Demon Slaying show on High Dive, that's got tons of violence in it, and it's probably the most violence I've seen in an anime in a while.
All right.
Yeah, ReZero Season 3 has a fair bit of violence, but it's a little cartoony at times. But it is gruesome, I'd say that's probably the most recent one I've seen.
That's fair. You ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
All right, so the first one that I thought that would really fit into that grittiness would be 86. Because you figure in the 80s and the 90s, they were already doing mech anime pretty well between Macross and some of the Gundams, the Gundam properties. So 86, I feel, because of the war, kind of semi-post-apocalyptic feel, the battle scenes, because the story alone stands on its own. But in my eyes, 86 would fall into that animation perfectly. Like it would not. I don't know if it would add anything, but it certainly wouldn't take anything away. I think it would have been just as popular in the 90s that it was when it aired. What do you guys think?
I think it also has really interesting like mecha designs that you don't and I think that those sort of like, you know, those cybernetics and the robots and stuff, that was a big part of anime in the past, and 86 kind of retains that. So just speaking aside from violence or whatever, but and I have a good example in mind that I'm going to talk about in a second, but I really appreciate that.
Would be fine. I just don't know if it would, like you said, add anything. Like, does it need to go back in time? Would I get a better product? Maybe not. Especially with all the intricate, like, huge arrays of the multiple robot CG, like, battle things. Like, that'd be tough to do with all the strategies they got going on. And it feels more technological. I don't know. It'd be okay. I don't know if it needs it. I think it's good as is. What's next, Mitz?
So my next one, and I'm going to jump down to it here because I really only have 3 more, and I may not get to them all anyway. But is a show that I like quite a lot. It has tons of seasons. It's very popular, but we haven't talked about it in a while. And that's Senki Zesho Symphogear, which is, if you guys haven't seen Symphogear, that's I guess it's sort of a magical girl show where they're fighting the Noise, which are like these weird little bug-looking creatures that will kill you if they touch you. But the girls all have like a Bubblegum Crisis-esque cybernetic bodysuit that gives them superpowers, and complete with like machine inner workings and, you know, turbines that spin and, you know, jet punch and all this. Bubblegum Crisis is probably one of my favorite anime from the 80s. I think it's good for so many reasons. But I get vibes of Symphogear from Bubblegum Crisis. Now, I think that the things that would probably have to change about Symphogear, I don't know that they could probably make the Noise work, although it's kind of a weird villain. Symphogear definitely has like more of an overarching villain too, but like, you know, I think Symphogear is just a little too colorful and a little too bubbly to be back in like that era. Because if you really think about it, like when I think about like 85 to 95, it's just a little less exuberant and a little less moe, I guess is what I would go with. Like it was more like, Pris was like this cigarette smoking biker girl with big hair, you know, and like she wasn't like a cute 15-year-old who, when she wasn't fighting monsters, she went off and ate cake. But I really think that like the designs of the Symphogear and some of the content, which by the way has some great action in it, fits pretty well in that era. So maybe not everything fits, but I definitely think that Symphogear's the mecha concept is good. I love a cybernetic bodysuit. I think it's so fucking cool. I'd even prefer that to like mecha sometimes.
Ooh, that's a big claim.
What are some
like in the 80s, you have like the cockpit view of people just flipping buttons and like moving levers, and there's nothing more aesthetic than that. Like that's the good stuff. I
love it, but you're so right. But and I love that in the new Gundam show too. They had a bunch of that right off the bat. That Gundam show is pretty good. But like the Bubblegum Crisis,
I guess to me. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, like the whole bodysuit is like almost like a button to me. It's like, you know, it molds around their body and they're inside of it, and it has like a digital screen inside. You know, they take calls inside of it. You know, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a debate. But you don't really get a lot of cybernetic bodysuit anime anyway. So I can't even think of very many examples. But
maybe I was like just Ghost in the Shell.
A bit,
and that's kind of evolved over time.
For the better, though? No.
Definitely not.
I was just much of Symphogear, but in my mind, it occupies the same like strata of like Macross. So Macross, you can go back in time and see OG Macross. Oh, you're so close, my friend. You're so close to earning that monster.
You see how quickly I can drink half a gallon of water? Look at that.
Exactly. When you're motivated.
Oh yeah, I want my prize. And I I also drank two servings of whole milk because it does a body good.
Oh, he's a thick boy.
I love milk. It's so good.
You're gonna be racing like a piss horse.
Yeah, there's going to be no osteoporosis in your future, buddy.
Well,
Okay, since we're all talking about, I guess, cool mech stuff, the one that I will pick is Knights of Sidonia, which is
I love it.
definitely one of the few shows that had a lot of potential that I just could not make it very far into because of the polygon pictures, what I perceive to be pretty subpar CG, especially compared to something like.
But it was so
it was just so stiff, and this could use some. This could use a little.
But it was
a
early.
remake it was
It was
trying its
so
best.
early. Wasn't that their first anime?
It was definitely early in Polygon Pictures' career. It was just, they needed to start somewhere, and it was a noble attempt. But
Look, I'm a freak, I'm a freak, right? The girl in that show was cute already, but when she got taken and got turned into like the wasp monster girl, I liked her even more. I was like, I was like, she was already an 8, now she's a 9.5. I was like,
the One Punch Man origin story,
yeah. Give me the friggin' wasp girl any day. I'll take it. 100%. Exoskeleton and all.
Yeah, I love Nihei's designs and stuff, and I just want a little more justice. Let's see, where was this in Polygon's Pictures life cycle?
I think it was the first one.
I mean, they did some weird shorts at the beginning. Let's see when they got serious. I guess they did
Maybe I'm wrong.
movie in 2009, and it was so bad that they gave up for 5 years. But
Oh my god.
essentially, yeah, it was their first proper television attempt in 2014. So
Man, time flies. I was living in Japan when that came out.
yeah,
Time
Knights
flies.
of Sidonia. It could use a new old coat of paint. What's next?
Benny Suzume.
So for me, going back to enjoying the fact that I really enjoyed that the mech being in that older animation style, I was a big fan of Gundam Witch of Mercury. I enjoyed that entire show, and I think that it would actually, going back to when we talked about how I didn't think maybe it would necessarily enhance 86, I think that style would enhance Witch of Mercury because people who didn't really give it a chance, it was pretty violent, especially the Zero episode. There was a lot of violence in that and then you put in the elements where they're constantly battling inside the Gundams and how it all comes to a head at the end. I think that show would look fantastic in a late 80s or early 90s animation style. Did either of you guys finish that show?
I watched the whole first season.
Unfortunately.
Oh!
Yeah, the first season.
Did you say unfortunately?
Just watch Gunbuster. It's Witch of Mercury, but old and better.
I mean, Gunbuster's great, but Witch of Mercury is good on its own.
Uh-oh.
Gunbuster is awesome. Diebuster is pretty neat. Witch of Mercury just laid a lot of good cards on the table, and then I felt like it didn't capitalize on them. Like, it was bringing up some good ideas, and then it just kind of, I don't know if I felt like I lost the plot or it lost the plot, but
I think they definitely rushed the ending.
It's a good-looking show.
I remember thinking...
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember thinking that the very ending of the first season of Witch of Mercury was surprisingly violent out of nowhere. Like, it seemed like it was turning the corner and was becoming something different right around the end of the first season. But I never watched season 2, so I don't know where that went. Sorry to disappoint
Yeah, I guess
you.
we're just uninformed enough.
Yeah. Otaku Cop is, though. He knows what's up.
Otaku Cop is brave. He's picking all these shows that, look good. And being like, oh, if it was... in the 80s, it would be better. And it's like, ooh, that's a tough call. So I took the coward's way, and I'm just like, Knights of Sidonia.
I'm just the old man on my porch. I'm like, this would have looked better when I was younger.
Yeah, but you're picking good-looking shows. Anyway, let's keep on moving.
You look
Mitz, what
real
do you got
good,
next?
Shiny, when I'm picking bird shot out of your ass. Oh my god. I was looking at houses recently, and I just couldn't stop making jokes about these front porches. Because Tennessee, we're living in Tennessee right now, and it's such an open carry state. And I just kept making these jokes with the realtor about how this is where I would sit with my shotgun on the porch in this like neighborhood that's real nice, and she's looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I gave up on the house hunt, by the way. That is an impossibility. Parasite. Yep. Parasite, body horror, weird, violent as hell. Shit. It doesn't even need to be modified, really. I mean, it's got weird alien crap. Weird aliens that come down and try to burrow into your ear, I guess. You got a dude talking to his fucking alien hand. You got parasite monster dudes going into a building and killing like 40 people and just splattering blood everywhere. It's a fucking weird show. I mean, it's cut from... I wonder when that was written, because it's cut from a cloth that just feels like it's old. And it's just... Boy, I like Parasite. I've heard a lot of people say they like Parasite, like a lot. Like, there's a lot of people out there that love Parasite. Yeah, and it's just... I didn't think the ending was very good. That was my big problem with that show. I can't remember if the ending happened, but I remember thinking it was kind of stupid. But... Wow, what a great show from like another body horror violence perspective. Definitely a winner.
I mean, I think the manga is from the 90s. So I think it is
actually
of that era, like you said.
They're working on it.
It was published in Kodansha in 1989. So
there you go.
It's right in that wheelhouse of all that horror.
You know,
it's got a cool soundtrack. I guess I remember it being pretty violent already with the body horror. Like maybe they darkened it so you didn't see some of the blood, but I feel like it's already pretty good looking. Like if you just put a 480p filter on it so it didn't look HD, like I think you're halfway there.
1989, you're right. Look at that. Holy shit.
Well, there it is.
There it is. I didn't even know that, but like it felt like 80s to me. It's god damn. 1989 is probably the most fucked up year anime's ever had. That is just a year. They were like full send, whatever you want. You want to traumatize children, just go. We don't care. Just do it. Because most of this shit wasn't on TV. It was all OVAs. Like they're all buying like, it's all these like anime nerds that, it's like, oh, I'm going to go to Akiba. And when I'm done like buying my new like, sex body pillow, I'm going to swing by the DVD store and pick up a weird copy of Urotsuki Doji. It's like, it's literally... Akiba was so disappointing last time I was in Japan, though, by the way. I hate to break it, people's hearts, but...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, that suggestion of Parasite, though, kind of matches Captain Avatar's in the chat suggestion of Shigarui, which is a brutally violent show. But, like, yes, it would work in the old school style, but it already is, like, in that style with modern production. Like, I guess it's not a huge step up. Yes, it would work. Yes, I agree. Yes, I'll watch more of it, but... I don't know if it would be a huge step up. In the same way, like for me, just because it's hot off the mind of what I talked about a couple weeks ago, is Kingdom. Kingdom has so much potential to just... And I get it. We're only at season 1. We're going to get to the good stuff later, allegedly. But, put some meat on that bones. Yeah, I think you get a lot more people watching it instead of what we got.
How far are you into Kingdom?
I am... through season 1, so that's like 38 episodes, I think.
Okay.
So I have not started season 2 yet. I've been too cowardly to start that next plunge. Okay,
season 2 takes a pretty big... So I didn't even get through season 1 of it, because it looked kind of bad. But it has a 7.9 on here, then it jumps to an 8.3, and then season 3 has an 8.8.
Well, I think what happened is season 1 filtered out a bunch of people. Season 2 filter out more people. And season 3, I think they changed studios and changed directors, and they fully became the entity that people are like, oh my goodness, Kingdom is good, watch it, that it is today. But right now we're not there yet, and at least season 1 of Kingdom could use another shot at it, please.
Well, I'm not sure it's going to be... So season 1 of Kingdom is done by Studio... Oh, they're all done by Pierrot. I don't know. I was told that Kingdom starts to not look so shitty later on.
Yeah, I think it's a different... Yes, it's the same studio, but the people and production and people running it are fundamentally different. So,
okay.
No, if I had looked and saw that it was the same director for all the seasons, I would have dropped it at season 1. But there's a chance. There's hope. But for now, we can keep these moving on.
All right. Otaku Cop?
Yep. So going down my list, I know that part of its charm is because of how it looks, but for me, again, like Mason said, I'm not taking the coward's way out. I would love to see Ranking of Kings in an older animation style. I think that there's some of the darker elements of the stories and some of the violence. It would look phenomenal in a mid-'80s, early '90s animation style. And I have no problem with how it looks. It's a little different on its own, but if you threw it back into that style, I think it would actually, at least for me, it would enhance the show. I love the story. I love it, but I think it would really benefit from either being redone in an older style. That's just my opinion, though.
No, I get where you're coming from, and I don't disagree. Like, I love how that show looks, and I'll kind of bundle in some of mine with it. But essentially, I also had Odd Taxi or Hozuki no Reitetsu on there, which are shows that look good, but they're almost a little too safe looking for how dark some of the story goes. And like, if it had that retro style, you might be like, oh shoot, no, this is not the happy-go-lucky story in the same way, and feel as safe as a watcher. So I see where you're coming from.
I do too. I always thought the Ranking of Kings felt like it had an old school flair to it, just from the way it's, mostly because from just the way it's animated, but it also has like a fairy tale like sort of vibe. Man, I like Ranking
Some would
of
argue
Kings.
it's a little too cartoony. I really like, if you think it, like, if it was drawn in a vein similar to like Ninja Scroll, it would feel much more dark. It would be a lot darker.
And I would argue, maybe that contrasts with the storybook quality, or the fact that we're seeing the world from the perspective of this cute, adorable boy who doesn't see the world as big and scary as we should. But yeah, it would be a unique take on it for sure, like an alternate styling.
Well, we pretty much only have time for one more piece, so I'm gonna abstain. I'm just gonna kick it back to
okay.
Kick it back to Mason.
I'll just say really quickly, 91 Days. It seems like it fit better because that's when it's set in the old-timey ways a bit. I don't know, kind of, maybe. It looks good as it is. What do you got, Otaku? Give us a good one to end it on.
I know that some people love this for its animation, but I'm going to say that Fate Stay Night, but the Unlimited Blade works. I know that a lot of people love the fights, and it was a UFO table. Yeah. I think it would look phenomenal in an older style, and I'm also a Rin route apologist, so give me the Rin route in an older animation style. I would love.
All we were asking for, all of the Japanese anime people, just give us that. That's all. That's all we want. Just a full remake. Thank you.
You're a Rin boy, huh?
Oh, Tosaka
Just look at
Rin.
him. He's got a 0-2 shirt on. Of course, he's a Rin boy.
0-2, winner of the last Waifu War. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I was considering doing another one, but I'm not really sure. Just be the same people winning every year, pretty much.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Oh, is that it? Are you guys done?
I think that's it. I think we hit a good list. Some people in the chat will give us more.
All right. Good topic.
You want to?
Otaku Cop, you want to read us out?
Yes. So, this week's in-show weekly trivia question: what is the name of the baseball team that the show Catch Me at the Ballpark revolves around?
All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And if we all knew that was coming.
Monster time, baby. Let's go.
And we'll be back after the news break. Stay tuned.
While Mitsuki was taking a piss, I thought Anime Satan would roll up in here swinging dicks to these moe girls. So here I am, smoking a fatty, bringing you that dank news. Let's get this thing started with Lupin the Third. Oh man, you just can't keep Lupin the Third down. So prolific, just never quits. The official website for the Lupin the Third franchise announced that there is going to be an anime prequel to the upcoming film, Lupin the Third Fujimi no Ketsuzoku. So there was a teaser posted, etc. The anime titled Lupin the Third Zenigata to Ninin no Lupin will release on June 20th on streaming services. Lupin the Third is just an utter beast. So many movies, so long running. I mean, we're going on 50 years, or maybe we're already 50 years. Very impressive. Next up, a light novel with an insanely long title, and Anime Satan struggles with Japanese, and there aren't any Moe girls here to read it for me, so I'll just read it in common English. Roll over and die. I will fight for an ordinary life with my love and cursed sword. They're not even trying with these titles nowadays. So the author Kiki began writing this adventure fantasy novel in Shosetsuka Minato back in January of 2018. So there's a lot of content already in place for it. So 7 Seas Entertainment has licensed both the light novel and the manga in English, and it looks like they're going to be putting out the 4th novel volume. It went on sale in August 2021. The 7th volume shipped on January 21st. And now, of course, that anime is coming. More isekai content for you to enjoy. Next up, the first boys love only anime studio has officially closed its doors. MAPPA, the studio behind popular anime such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise, etc., did establish its boys love focused companion studio Grizzly back in 2017, and less than 10 years later, Grizzly has closed its doors. It only had a few works completed under its belt. It was co-founded by MAPPA CEO and public representative Manabu Otsuka. But the studio's debut work was 2018 with the Ogeretsu Tanaka's titular manga series Yarichin Bitch Club. But this studio is no more. For those of you that are fans of Grizzly, well, you'll enjoy some stuff you haven't already consumed because it is no more to be found. And next up, the One Piece fans. Anime Satan, he really loves One Piece, I'll tell you. He really loves Zoro. Zoro is Anime Satan's favorite, you heard it here. So, One Piece misses the #1 spot for best-selling manga of 2024 in a new top 50 ranking, beaten out by only Jujutsu Kaisen with 7.6 million copies. One Piece came in second with 5.2 million, then Free-Ran, Apothecary Diaries, Blue Lock, Kaiju number 8, Kingdom. I got my own Kingdom down here now. Pretty nice. Haikyuu, My Hero Academia, and Spy Family, just the usual suspects. Not a whole lot of Moe on this list, although there is a certain Moe girl in Spy Family that is looking forward to having her scrub Anime Satan's feet. He's got some Hobbit feet, I'm telling you. He's gonna need some work down there. This was Anime Satan, and this was your anime news. And now let's get back to that podcast.
Hey, all you anime addicts, this is Mitsugi, and it's time for that sweet anime news.
Sorry, Pope. I already beat you to it while you were off taking a piss.
Oh, what the hell, Anime Satan? Who let you in here?
Sorry, not sorry.
Now back to the podcast. Speaking of great mecha designs from the 80s,
And not much else.
not much else. Some good music. I'm gonna look this up, and I'm gonna bet this shit's from '89. I'm just gonna make a bet. I don't know it to be true. Most Dangerous Geist.
87.
Okay.
87.
All right. Most Dangerous Geist came out in
86.
86. Okay. A little older. Wow. I would love a Most Dangerous Geist anime, so I would buy it. I would pay quite a bit for it if I could find a good one. But not very common out there. I am gonna peruse eBay though here to see if I can find anything while we do our mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag. All right, if you want to leave a mailbag, AAAPodcast.com/mailbag. We will read it. Oh, I earned myself a monster, didn't I? From the Sonic fridge that holds 8 monsters, and it says on the inside of the fridge, to be used intermittently. Please periodically turn off. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not turning this fridge off. This beast is running all the time, just like Sonic. Come on. All right.
Wait, Mitch, I think we forgot to answer the trivia question.
Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
It's
What
okay.
is the name
I'll
of...
answer it.
Yeah, go ahead. You got this.
What is the name of the baseball team that the show Catch Me at the Ballpark revolves around? The answer is, of course, the Chiba Motor Sons.
Chiba. I haven't spent much time in Chiba. Chiba's the area of the mainland of Tokyo, of Japan, that's to the east of Tokyo. It's a little peninsula hanging out down there. That's where they have the Penis Festival, where they have like a giant wooden penis that they parade through the streets, and there you go.
As one does.
All right, this mailbag is from Oh my gosh, Most Dangerous Jabroni writing in. Hey, AAA crew. Oh, this one's for Raggedy. Whoops. Sorry. Raggedy's not here. Would One Piece... My bad. Would One Piece be better if it wasn't this long? Now, don't come at me. I've been caught up on the anime for a long time, and there's been a ton of great moments, but I'm starting to feel like it would be better if it was condensed. Thanks for answering my question. What do you guys think?
So, I feel that part of the lure of One Piece is the journey. So it's like a point, almost like a badge of honor, like, I have watched X amount of episodes. That's part of the lure to get into the fandom. However, they are remaking it, updating it, and I think the whole reason behind it is to condense it and make it easier to consume. So it's going to be good for the franchise regardless, but it doesn't really need that much help. But I think as somebody who has watched every iteration of Dragon Ball from the original all the way up through Daima, I think long form has its merits. I think if you're part of a fandom, you do wear that as a badge of honor to say, I've stuck with the franchise through 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 episodes. So I think that you could argue in both sides that condensing it is good for the fandom, just like they did with Dragon Ball Z Kai to try to make it a little easier to consume. It's going to be the same with this One Piece update. So I think you can do both, and still it's not going to take away from the franchise.
Can I ask you a question about Dragon Ball Daima?
Yes.
Is it ever not going to suck? Be honest.
No.
It's going to suck the whole time?
It's going to suck the whole time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's Dragon Ball.
Whoa.
Mason. How dare you?
No way!
Wow. That one hurt.
Too soon.
I think, my opinion is that most things that go on for too long tend to not be as good over time. Kind of like this podcast. Just kidding.
Got him.
Got him. So, we need to have a drop for that. So, I think Jabroni might be correct. And I do think people like myself would be a lot more willing to start One Piece if it wasn't so damn long. Because I can't see myself finishing 1,000 episodes or something. It's just way too much. So I don't
Coming
know.
soon.
I guess you could go through One Piece pretty quick if it was dubbed and you were watching it at work. Like, I could probably blow through it pretty fast because I'm remote, but...
So I'll give a little bit of advice on getting through One Piece, though. If you watch it on Netflix, they have the skip intros set up to skip all of the episode filler as well, the recap. So it's not just the song it skips.
Yeah.
It skips through. It literally takes you to where the episode starts. So you're consuming sometimes as little as 15 minutes of an episode, 14 minutes of an episode, but you can get through it much quicker on Netflix. They just haven't caught up fully with all of the seasons yet.
Yeah, or just watch One Piece.
One Piece.
There's that too.
That's another option.
All right, Mason, you want to read the second one?
Sure. This comes to us from Chrissy Fiss. I've been going through the backlog of episodes of our podcast, trying to catch up, and I'm getting there. I feel like I've heard you talk about pretty much everything I am aware of. We probably have at this point. But I've never heard you guys mention Pacific Rim The Black. What is up with that? I know it is not technically anime, but it looks like one and passes the vibe check. And you have mentioned a lot of other shows that aren't technically anime. If you guys ever seen it, and it's one of my favorites, and I feel like you would mention it if you have seen it. So have we seen Pacific Rim The Black? Have we seen any Pacific Rim content?
I saw the original movie, live action.
I've seen the movies.
Surprisingly good.
It was.
Movies
it
are
was
good.
Yeah. I'm not really sure this is an anime. It's directed by Hiroyuki Hayashi. It's got Polygon Pictures in the credits. I'm not sure. Not written by a Japanese person. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't seen it. That's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, same. If
I
it's
can't
not
speak to
Guillermo del Toro directing, you're going to have a hard time convincing me to give it a shot.
Valid.
It's hard to follow up. I'm
Del
sure it's
Toro.
fine. I'm sure it's a CG mecha thing with some sci-fi twists that I'm sure people enjoy. It's just not my thing.
Today's monster is orange in honor of Pancake.
Delicious.
That's right. And it says on the back 0% juice, so you know that's good for you.
0% juice, 100% energy.
100% kidney stones, which I've yet to have, and I've had a lot of monsters. Oh my god!
Here you go.
Did you know? You want to hear something crazy? This is so boring for people. If you had invested like $10 in Monster back in like 2000, you would have like almost $1 million now. Literally, that's a fact. It's crazy. That stock has gone up like 198,000% since it came out.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insanity. Just another missed opportunity. I told Pancake, I said, why didn't I meet you? Because I thought about buying Monster stock when Pancake and I were dating. And I was like, why didn't I meet you 10 years ago? Like, you know, I could have bought stock back then and then I'd be rich. And she was like, oh, because I was coloring in a crayon.
17.
She was like 7. I was coloring in a crayon book and eating and watching dinosaurs on TV.
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right, my God. Here we go.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time! Believe it!
Believe it.
Believe it! All right, so it's time for impressions. We're going to go through 5 anime today, and we will tell you if they are worth passing or not. And so far we've passed Gundam G-Quux, as I have learned it is called, and To Be Hero X also passed. And we will see. Starting with Your Forma. So I don't know who passed.
Yeah,
Your
which
Forma.
I think was my
Who picked
number 2 pick. I think it was me.
All right.
So Your Forma, it's done by Geno Studio. You can watch it on the internet. I'll just put it like that. And it's 13 episodes long, and it kind of takes place in this 1992 retro but futuristic world. You know, show starts with people like jacking into some sort of datascape. There's some murders in a dark, rainy alley, and it's essentially like a digital cyberpunk kind of world. You know, there's visual landmarks all over the screen. It's a unique way of like Google Glass with phone screen header ads are all over the place. It's a realistic, grounded take on what if technology was way more, and we have robots, and there's mysteries to be solved, and you can, dive into the minds of people. It's this weird mishmash of pastiche of things we've seen before and other things. And it's, half action, half, solving mysteries. We follow this girl named Ichika, who with her robot companion who gets accused of a murder, even though robots aren't supposed to do that. The whole Asimovian laws of robotics, you can't harm humans sort of things. They solve mysteries is really what it comes down to. It's a pretty stiff cyberpunk detective show, and it's fine. What'd you guys think of it?
So I'm kind of with you. I didn't think it was anything like special, but it also reminded me a lot of the animes in the past that have kind of almost used a little bit of Minority Report for inspiration, just like investigating crime through technology, either predictive or going back to try to solve, murders. I think it's got a good start. I think I need to see more before I pass my ultimate judgment on it. But I mean, it is fine.
Yeah, it could get good later. If someone told me, hey, oh, you didn't watch your Reformer? Check it out. It really went some unique places. Like, I would believe that, But I guess so far it's at a point where if you haven't seen your Psycho-Passes, your Ghost in the Shells, your Ergo Proxies, like, do yourself a favor and start with those. Because this is just, maybe potential, maybe not. There are some neat visuals when she's, like, floating through the aforementioned datascape, but it's one of those detective shows that you as the viewer can't follow along because she'll jack in and be like, yes, I've got the coordinates to St. Petersburg address, and it's actually in the basement. It's like, I would not have known that. I could not follow along. It's just, you're kind of swept up in the kind of ID invaded sort of thing. So I like detective shows that you can play along with, and this isn't one of them. How about you, Mitz?
Yeah, for me, I started to come around on this anime around the end of episode 2. I enjoyed there was the sequence with Marvin's crime scene. He was all torn up, all fucked up. They had little robots crawling around his little body, and then she got abducted in that second episode, and I was starting to think, oh, this is getting good. Like, she got abducted. What's going to happen with this? Because before that, it was just a lot of blah, blah, robots can't hurt humans, blah, blah, the RF model, la, la, la. And this stuff's so old and tired at this point. Like, how many times have we seen every single anime with a cyborg or a robot or something? They always have to mention they're not allowed to harm humans, have to do what humans say, and then ultimately they always do. And then that's like, that seems to be always the plot. And I'm like, okay, I've seen this before, but I did enjoy that sequence on the second episode, and of course, it didn't last long, as you find out that whatever the hell the dude's name is used her as bait and basically knew she was going to get abducted, and then he probably had a tracker on her or something and found her. And so ultimately, I don't like detective shows very much. I was kind of starting to come around on this, but I really didn't want them to wrap up that like kidnapping sequence in a matter of 3 minutes. Like, it was just a little too fast.
Too quick.
I didn't get enough time to enjoy that. And as you said, I don't think like the brain diving thing is new either. I mean, I feel like that's happened several times.
Yeah.
So this anime is just really bringing nothing to the table, honestly.
I mean, Harold is a good-looking dude. Yeah, he's a robot, but he's smoldering.
I'd spank that ass, but that doesn't mean I'm going to pass this anime.
Yeah, same here.
So
I did like, the future of like, you will walk through like a mall, if malls still exist, and just get like inundated with ads. That once we as humans get those cybernetic implants, like we're just going to be assailed by companies trying to sell us stuff, and that's like the only nightmare fuel future I could see. Like, yeah, that's good to think about, but I think we can drop this one.
All right.
I was surrounded by the suck.
Yeah,
there you have it.
Pretty much.
Yep.
All right. This next one is called Mono.
Mm-hmm.
Who picked this? Who was it?
That was me.
Who dare?
That was me.
Who dare?
I dared to pick this show. So, this is the next manga project from Afro, who is the Laid Back Camp mangaka. And the reason why I picked it is because I love Laid Back Camp. So I was hoping for more of the same with a little bit of a different focus. And basically the premise of the show is that the tried old problem of our club will dissolve if we don't get more members problem pops up. And two clubs actually encounter this issue, and it's the cinema club and the photography club. So they're going to have to merge in order to survive. And the whole first couple of episodes are based around the acquisition of a special camera that they get at they buy it from this woman, and they put it on, they attach it to a kite, and it's kind of them figuring out shots that they can get with this. But at the end of the day, with the episodes that I've watched so far, it just doesn't really go anywhere. It's definitely falling into the genre of cute girls doing cute things. But even for me, Mr. B Positive, the cop who loves all anime, it was a tough watch for me. And I love Laid Back Camp, but this is no Laid Back Camp. This is I don't know what this is, but it was not it for me. What did you guys think?
So I actually didn't mind the show. I would say of all the cute girls doing travel / food / photos this season, between Mono, between spoilers, Food for the Soul, and for Let's Journey, whatever that one was called. This was probably my favorite, even though it wasn't as on model with its animation as others. And I thought it was more interesting and ambitious in how it was directed. And yes, the show pretty much just revolves around either photography, snacks, or girls being borderline obsessed with other girls. There's not much to the show. That said, I liked the spirit and personality. I thought the humor landed more often than not, even though it's a bit of a meta setup with, a mangaka writing about another manga writing about the show you're kind of watching. And a lot of the jokes borrow from its predecessors, both in Eurocamp and just other of its ilk. But the comedy came from animation, directing, voice acting, and writing. It told comedy in different ways, which I found nice. I thought this was just a generally nice show. And yes, only recommendable to if you really loved your camp and stuff. Obviously, I don't think this will make for the best of reviews. There's not a ton of meat to it. It's just a nice, cozy thing. I didn't mind it. It was fine, but I don't love it enough to watch 8 more episodes of it.
Well, I was watching this last night, and I sat down and I said, I can't believe this. I'm watching this shit. To be honest with you, that's just how I felt. I was like, another fucking club anime in the same episode today, same season. These club animes, they just, for me at least, they just suck. Honestly, they're always the same. And then I start thinking about things that are perfectly obvious that just ruin it for me completely, because I'm just way too logical for most of the time. So my thought is, oh, well, all the seniors graduated, and now you're down to 2 people or whatever. And I'm thinking, maybe you should have fucking recruited some of the younger underclassmen to your club in anticipation of the fact that you were about to have everyone graduate. So either no one cares about this club because they tried and nobody would join it, and in which case it should just go away, or they're just stupid, honestly, and didn't prepare or have any foresight whatsoever. So when you layer that on top, it just ruins the premise. And then I just don't care about photography. I don't care. Some people do. That's great. I have a cracked front phone camera on my iPhone. It's been cracked for years. I won't fix it. And I take photos and send photos to people with the cracks in it. I just don't give a shit. So I can't pass this. I can't. I may never watch another club anime again. I've seen, God, how many club anime have you guys seen? 100? 200?
So many. and I could see this being someone's comfort anime. I could. Like Mason said, there are some funny jokes that land, but on the whole, there's just not enough to make me want to watch 12 episodes of it.
Yeah, Chatter says, played out genres in anime, what's new?
Mm-hmm.
Not this. Another show where they don't... Can we fail it?
Yes.
Okay.
Play it out, Mitch.
How about new?
How about new?
That was pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Let's see here. What's next? Catch Me at the Ballpark. So I was hoping that... This is one of mine. There's no way I was going to let this not be mine. I was like, you're definitely picking this. Trying to escape his weary job, a dude goes to the baseball stadium and meets a Gyaru girl and kind of gets a crush on her. So I was thinking, wow, a baseball anime about a guy who's got a bone-crushing day job that goes to the ballpark to watch baseball and have a beer and falls for the concession stand girl. I was like, what a great idea. This sounds incredibly cute.
Bear, baseball, and babes. What more could you ask for?
And, yeah, exactly. And good as any, no one but me likes that anime.
Now.
Oh, you like Good as Any? Are you?
I do.
Oh my God. Well, you like everything.
No, but I like the sports stuff. We actually have had this discussion. You're getting old and forgot how we talked about how much we liked Good as Any.
Well, so Good as Any
when it first aired.
It gets so into the weeds. It's so in the weeds. They're talking about how like, the episode I watched last night. The guy comes up, the catcher comes up from the minor leagues and he keeps going up and down as they need him, but he never stays in the majors because his arm's too weak and he can't make the throw to second base. And then I guess he's improved his strength and he kind of fakes it. He can't make the throw to second base, so the guy tries to steal and then he like lasers it across the field. It's just like it's in the fucking weeds, and that's why Good as Any's great. But most average people are like, this is boring as fuck. And I love Bonda. He's great. This anime is not Good as Any. It has a better score than Good as Any on my anime list, but I don't know why. So this anime is EMT Squared. EMT Squared. They've done a little bit of stuff. Their highest scored anime. Oh, God. All right, EMT Squared sucks. If we did a tier ranking, this would probably be like a D. We've done this. I just don't remember where it ranked.
I don't think we had EMT. Like, I don't think they're even prodigious enough to, like, be ranked.
Well, they only have, their highest rated anime is that fucking Train to the End of the World show. And that show, man, that was rough. My issue with Catch Me at the Ballpark is that it's just not about baseball enough, in my opinion. And it's just not interesting enough. Like there's a scene where it's more about the ballpark itself and less about baseball, I think. So like there was a scene where this old man has been working at the ballpark for like 40 years and he gives some little kid who hurt themselves or was lost like a lollipop, and they quit crying, and then they find that he's old now, and there's another little kid who's lost, and and the guy's got an understudy who's like works with him, and he's like, give the kid a lollipop. So he's like thinking, 40 years ago, 40 years ago, Sonny, I gave a boy a lollipop and he was happy. And so he gives the kid the lollipop and it has the same outcome. He's like, oh, thanks, mister. And then like the dad comes and finds the kid. And it's all because they want the kid to associate the ballpark with a place that's happy or whatever. And I'm like, that is a good sentiment. This anime isn't terrible, but it's just not enough about the sports. So those are kind of my thoughts on it. I personally, my brain is having a battle between knowing that this anime is not that good and loving sports anime. And ultimately, I just don't think this anime is very good. So I'm not going to pass it. What do you guys think?
Well, this is actually my favorite of the bunch that we looked at for this episode.
I agree.
I think you have to have a real love for baseball to truly appreciate this anime. And not just the sport, the experience. Like the other weekend I went to Nationals Park with my wife because she's a Mets fan to watch the Mets take on the Nationals. And we both enjoy this anime. To me, this is probably as close to a comfort anime that I have found this season. And I'm not saying that it's going to win any awards. I'm not saying that it's some great ballad about baseball. But if you have a love for the sport, if you like going to the ballpark, it definitely hits those vibes. And the structure of the show is it's almost taught in mini-sodes. Like there's 3 stories an episode pretty much, or 3 different segments an episode. And, you know, some of them are funny, some of them aren't great. It definitely drags in portions, but it hits enough of the baseball nostalgia vibes for me that I still get enough from it to find it enjoyable. And I will continue to watch it. But is it enough that it should be reviewed by this podcast? No, not at all.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I tend to enjoy shows set in workplaces, whether it's an occupation like, you know, making a dictionary, making an anime, working at a hot spring or a restaurant. Like, I don't need the baseball to be here to enjoy the show. That said, it's pretty cheap looking. The jokes are kind of repetitive. The human beats are there, but they're pretty bare bones. I do like some of the characters. I like how they project themselves as really confident, but sometimes they're like, oh, like kind of, you know, uncertain and behind closed doors. I think the E of the anime might appeal to some. The show is kind of lackluster, though I will say my biggest gripe with the show, by a mile, is that they go with the title The Catcher in the Ballpark, which is awful. That's such a terrible title when you have the A tier Catch Me at the Ballpark, which is phenomenal. That's like a triple entendre of stuff, and it's chef's kiss. And they go with The Catcher in the Ballpark? Come get the fail just for that.
Where are you seeing Catcher at the Ballpark?
So like that's what's on the screen, like in the show.
Oh, for real?
That's the official Japanese attempt at an English title, which is just not good. Catch Me at the Ballpark is
you're
unbeatable.
Right. The Catcher in the Ballpark. That doesn't even make sense, actually.
It's not good.
What do you? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So go watch Gurizeni. I think that has its merits.
Yes.
So you know, I see where you're coming from. If you have the love of the atmosphere, and especially if you've never been to Japan, the games are tons of fun. But I can't do this. We can't do it.
Yeah, and this is probably one of my favorites of the season too that I've seen, which is not a good sign. I got to the episode of Good as Any where it's episode 12 where he goes and has that really good looking fried rice in karaage. Oh god, it looks so good at that little like izakaya, and he's like in love with the waitress. And then she comes to the game and she's sitting right behind home plate, and he hits her favorite player. She's a fan of the rival team, and he hits the player and like hits him in the ankle or something, and he injures him, and he can't even get to like the first base. And she like yells like "fuck you, Bonda," and his heart just breaks. It's so fucking funny. God, it's so great. All right, what's next?
Next is time for Mason to impassionately, but apparently on deaf ears, make a plea to pass Apocalypse Hotel, which is not going to happen. But here we go. Apocalypse Hotel is 12 episodes long. It's done by Cygames Pictures. It's on Crunchyroll. And I would say this is the meme of, we're making circles now. Cygames is just we're making fantastic anime now. So this takes place in the distant future. Humanity has collapsed, declined, if you will. No one remains. All humans have left Earth. It's a barren wasteland. But one robot-run hotel still functions, still wakes up every day, ready to serve their non-existent guests to the best of their ability. And this is a very much Yokohama shopping log. Girls' last tour. Humanity has declined. Comfy, cozy, end-of-the-world vibes. That are kind of tragic as you get, robots serving in perpetuity nothingness. And it's comedic, and it's tragic, and it's just a weird show. It's slow, especially at the beginning, It's not for everyone. It's just kind of quirky in a way that feels refreshing to me. I've enjoyed it so far. Looks great, sounds great. Why don't you guys like it? I know why, but please tell me.
Otaku may like it. What do you think?
So I don't dislike it. I think, like, I really enjoyed the episode where they're trying to cater to an alien, and it's basically defying all their preconceived programming of service. And I mean, it's got its cute and funny elements.
Yeah.
It's just, on the whole, again, just like with some of the other shows we're talking about, I don't feel like there's enough there to make me want to watch all 12 episodes of this show. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. There wasn't enough in the first 3 episodes that I watched to make me go like, man, that was really fun. I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah. No, I get you. There's not a ton to sink your teeth into from a plot or content standpoint. Like, for me, the show feels very well considered and thought of. Like, the directing and the artistry is very, like, that's where I'm getting a lot of my enjoyment. But if you're a much more casual person who are just like, show me a good story, you're going to be grasping at straws. Now, one might develop, but we haven't really gotten there yet. There's not a ton.
But there are really good elements of comedy. Like, I've laughed out loud when she keeps having to throw water on the doorman because he just can't help himself to open the door because that's what he's programmed to do. Like, there are elements that are funny. Like, some of the jokes land, but it just maybe I need to give it a couple more episodes for me to really be like, yes.
Yeah, I could see this going either way. And it's funny to me that, I complain that, Catch Me at the Ballpark is already using repetitive humor. Or, other shows we were watching, I'm going to complain, it's so repetitive. And then we get this gag of this doorman overheating. And it's happened like 7 or 8 times.
4 or 5 times in the first episode.
But they find like a different way to convey it that makes it still unique enough for me to enjoy. So, I don't know. Mitt's thoughts, like, I don't know if there's a ton here. I definitely get that most people aren't vibing with the show.
Are you losing hope?
And even if I had to recommend it, it's like it's either going to be up your alley or not. It's not for everyone.
Poor Mason, he's lost hope.
It's okay.
Kind of like that robot. Kind of like the one robot starts to lose hope. This anime was better than I thought. Okay, it started off. I was thinking, oh god. This is my thought process. Oh god, because that last hotel show was god awful. It was like literally agony for me to watch that. What the hell was that even called? When the last season? Oh my god, I can't remember. There was a very bad. There was a very bad show in last season about the hotel, and everybody's heads were like different. Like one guy's head was made out of flames, and then one guy had like a playing card.
Tasso Kare.
God,
hotel?
that anime was bad. Yeah. It was bad. I was thinking, oh god, here we go, another hotel anime where it's not actually humans, it's like monsters or aliens or some shit. But this anime ended up being better than I thought it would be. I enjoyed when she rounds them all up to do like roll call, and they're talking about like this show is driven by the main girl robot. She's pretty likable.
Yeah.
I like how she freaks out because they've run out of. She goes through this like catastrophizing logic chain about like what's going to happen when they run out of like shampoo caps, as if that fucking matters. I don't even use shampoo. Hello, bald.
Oh, you're an alien then. And how dare Mitz you say that this show revolves around the admittedly main character? Did you not get to the Kankyo check rowboat? The massive gun turning into thing that's like, I'm gonna kill him if he's not a customer. Like, that guy was funny.
That was a weird looking gun, by the way. I don't know. It looked like a wicker basket laying on its side. I don't know.
It was like a plasma cannon with like
going on with that.
IKEA.
And then she loses hope because she can't communicate with the alien guy because he's a fucking alien. She tries like every language that humanly exists. And
yeah, like there's just a lot of nice touches throughout this show that really are doing a lot of heavy lifting for the lack of what is currently there from a plot standpoint. So I've enjoyed it. I get it's not for everyone.
There's
It's
an
up to you guys if you want to fail it.
There's an interesting take here to be said about like understanding other people, the cultural differences of different people. She can't understand anything about him. Like he eats the food and he has like these bizarre reactions to the food they serve him. You know, admittedly, some of the I'm just looking at the list here of stuff we've passed. I'm just trying to see 1, 2, 3, 4. I just don't know. I mean, this show is not bad. It was way better than I thought. I just think that I think I'd rather watch this than 2B Hero X. That's what I think.
Ooh, bold words. I mean, I would agree, but this is also one of my preferred shows of the season.
I'm
also an anime.
See, I'm 100% sure 2B Hero X should not have passed because I think 5 of us on this podcast didn't really like it. But it's in there now, so
I mean, it has good shows on our or scores on our doc.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't sound like you two are sold on it, and Pancake would rather gouge her eyes out than watch it, and Andrew failed it. So that's 5 people. So but now this show is going to fail because there's no room but this show will probably not get listener choice, whereas 2B Hero X was a lock, which is why we should have just let it fail, but it's too late. So I'm gonna fail this because we still got Lazarus, we've got Witch Watch, we've got Go Go Loser Ranger, which could be good. We've got Anne Shirley, which could be good.
No. Spoilers.
No, it's not good. Oh shit! I was hoping. Well, there's some. Well, you know, I'm looking at the document here, and Otaku Cop might have some words to say about that.
Well, he's gonna have to wait till him and I duke it out in 2 weeks.
So I'm just not gonna pass this because I want to do what I said we should do, which is when it's when it doesn't feel like it's worth passing, we don't pass it, and we can put a retro anime in there or something in its place. This anime and a season that didn't suck, just total ballsack like this season. Let's just be honest. Let's just cut the shit. It's not a good season. I know we all want to be positive. It's not fucking good. It's bad. This show doesn't pass in a normal season, and so I don't want to pass it just because it's a little better than most of the shows I've seen. So I'm gonna fail this one too. I'm sorry, Mason. It's not bad. People should watch it. It has some cute humor.
Listen, that's better than I thought I was going to get. So I appreciate it.
And it's not cliche and full of tropes, which is big.
It doesn't have a club.
As you're gonna hear in 2 seconds, that's big.
You shall not pass!
All right. I'm sorry, Mason. I had to do it to you.
It's okay. It's okay.
This next show, though, man, I had such high hopes. Oh my God. First episode, all right, Food for the Soul. Who picked this? This is you again? Both the club shows.
Both the club
what?
Shows.
Another one.
I've learned my lesson.
Damn, chatters are not.
I like cooking shows, but yeah.
Some of the chatters have some vicious things to say about 2B Hero X. That was savage. I'm not even gonna read that.
All right.
Go ahead, defend it.
I can't defend it, but I will explain it. So, Food for the Soul, it is an original. It's an original anime television series. It's by the same author of Non Non Biori. It is produced by Aniplex and PA Works, and it is on Crunchyroll. And it centers around a character whose name is Meiko Kawaii. And rather than being in high school, these girls are actually in college now. But this may shock you. We have a main character who is shy and afraid to try new stuff. But she does have a cooking hobby, so she gets curious about foods that she finds, that she comes across through her everyday life. And in the first episode, she runs into an old elementary school friend unexpectedly, and they try to make a new club that's themed around food appreciation. But at the end of the first episode, her friend lets it loose that she actually just wanted to create a club so they had a place to hang out, not anything else. So as far as, one of the characters works at a restaurant, So that's where the first time that food even comes up in the show. And the girls as a group don't even cook something together until like the 18th minute of the second episode. So I don't know how much soul there is to this show, but it was another cute girls doing cute things, and it could be another person's comfort show, but right now it's just it seems kind of messy to me. There's just not enough there to it. So unfortunately, I was not a fan of it.
Yeah, it's a
Mr. Positivity.
comfy eating show. So I thought, you mentioned the main girl being shy, scared of dining alone, which is a real concern and hesitation for many. I definitely think that the show was made up for in that respect by the friend crew. I think their introduction of just like trying to bribe their teacher into letting them be a club was really funny, like the different ways
sliding
they tried
her
to
the
bribe.
envelope of cash.
Sliding her the envelope of cash, and be like, when you open your eyes, you're gonna see people now in a club. Like it was clever, it was fun. They brought the energy, they brought spirit and charisma. The way they bounced off each other was really good. I thought the interplay was way more engaging. And once again, similar to Mono, better than I expected. This was a very fine show, very comfy show, worth a shot if you're super into food. Give it a thing. As far as doing a full review, watching a full season, and being like, what do we think of it? Fine is really where I'm at the end of the day. It's not doing enough to differentiate itself. There's other food shows I'd rather watch. There's other cute girl shows I'd rather watch. This is just kind of there, and like Mitt said, just because this season is weak doesn't give the shows that are kind of middling a free pass. And with that in mind, I'm going to fail this.
This show, so the first thing I did was I looked at the score. I was like, I always do that. I'm like, okay, well, what do other people think? Well, what am I in for? Well, it's got a 7.5. I was like, okay, well, this season's kind of bad. It's not that. This is probably one of the highest rated shows of the season. In fact, I'm going to check just for you because, let's be honest. That's what you pay $0 for. So I'm going to go ahead and look that up for you. So there are only 4 shows this season that have better than an 8. Actually 3, because one of them has an 8 exactly. This show is, it's down the list. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. This is the 18th best. So it's definitely in the middle. I was really hopeful for the show at the beginning. I was like, okay, this girl's got social anxiety. They're doing a decent job with it. They didn't make fun of it. They're demonstrating it, but it's not hindering the show's progress. There was some good-looking food in the show. I'm thinking, okay, sure, the show is about a club that have enough members. Wow, I've seen that 100,000 times. I'm thinking, it's K-On! Right off the bat because, it's 4 cute girls. In fact, the one fucking girl even reminded me of the K-On! Girl was the white-haired girl. I was like, every show has to have like a little moe character in it. Like this girl looks 11. There is no fucking way she's 19 or whatever. It's just not happening. But this is the little like copper-haired girl.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's one of those shows where but they're in college, but they're fundamentally in high school. Like besides them like working and having to pay for their adventures.
Yeah,
there's fundamentally no difference there.
Yeah, and it's fundamentally if you had like photos of them on your computer in bikinis, the fucking feds would come raid your house because try convincing them that this girl's not 11. It's just true.
Putting the fun in fundamentally.
Yeah, exactly.
No, officer, she's a 1,000-year-old vampire. I promise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure she is. Yes. What was her name? Mina Teps or whatever from Dance in the Vampire Bund. That pushed the envelope.
That's rough.
I could use another show like that, though, by the way, just to wake my ass up, because this stuff just lulled me to sleep. I'm thinking, this show, I was like, wow, it started off with a YouTube video about food. I'm like, oh, this show is going to have so much food porn in it. I'm so ready, right? And then they get this fucking club room, and there's no food in there. And then they go, oh, you can't have an open flame. You can't have a cooker. They can't even cook the food in their club room. And then, like, there was just no food porn. And then they started to do stuff that had nothing to do with food. And I'm like, okay, this is just a bullshit-ass fucking moe romp. And so I have to fail it. It's just not good. I knew I was going to fail everything. I almost passed the hotel show. That one got the closest. Is this one done? Did we already all fail it?
I think we failed everything.
We've all
I think we
failed.
failed all the shows today.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
It's Wow, there we go. Fuck it. That's pretty much what the show gave. As the kids say, this show is giving. There you go. If I want to go watch food porn, I'll go watch Silver Spoon. That show's got some food porn in it. Or food Wars.
Food Wars.
Yeah, Chatter. Food Wars. Very good. Boy, at least we're not predictable. Like, we will fail everything if we feel like it. So unfortunately, we're still just at 2 anime. It's still just Gundam G-Quux and To Be Hero X. But let's be honest, guys. Like, somebody will write an Apple Podcast review after this and go, "These pricks hate everything. Mitsugi this, Mitsugi that." Do you really want to hear us pass a show and then rip it to shreds in the review? I mean, if you didn't like us failing it now, you're really going to hate us talking shit on it for an hour. Right? So we may as well just present to you a platter of older shows or shows that aren't old that we didn't watch and let you pick what you want. I really think, that's really the better way to do it. All right. Any final thoughts?
We did it.
No, we made it through.
All right. Well, we're going to do a hentai episode after this podcast is over here. If you want to get that hentai episode, depending on how good it goes, I may release it for free just to give people a taste. But we're going to be talking about some interesting stuff, including what is a Dedi Heiru?
I don't even know.
Well,
I don't know if I want to know, but I'm going to learn.
I know what it is.
Today.
I know what it is, and it is, well... Just 'cause she has been titties. All right. If you want to help out if you want to get that, if you want to help out the podcast, you can go to our website, AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon. The other thing we're going to discuss, I can't even say that on here. YouTube will block this video for sure. So if you're curious, support the podcast, help out. Check out the Discord, AAADiscord.com. Please don't forget to go put in a submission for the Family Feud game. I really want to play that. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. And please leave us a review or subscribe on YouTube. Or like this video, give us a subscription on YouTube or wherever you listen. Well, it's very nice having you guys here. It was a nice bro fest. You guys are the broiest bros.
You know it, bruh.
All right. And for those of you listening, thanks for tuning in, wherever you are. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Dude,
Bye, y'all.